Every great story begins not with certainty, but with a question. And Santiago's story begins with a dream so strange and powerful that it refuses to let him go. He is a shepherd boy in Spain, young, curious, and restless. On the surface, his life is simple. He tends to his sheep, moves with the seasons, and finds joy in the open skies. But deep inside, there's an uneasiness, a whisper, a voice that keeps asking, is this all there is? Haven't we all felt that? That quiet restlessness in the middle of an ordinary day? Maybe when you're at your job, repeating the same routine, or scrolling endlessly on your phone, wondering if life has more to offer. Santiago represents that feeling in all of us, the longing for something greater, even when the world tells us to settle for less. One night, as he sleeps under a sycamore tree, Santiago dreams a child who tells him to go to the Egyptian pyramids to find treasure. At first, it seems ridiculous. Why would a shepherd from Spain travel across continents in search of something that might not even exist? But here's the secret. The dream will not let him rest. It keeps returning again and again until he realizes it's not just a dream. It's a calling. This is the first great lesson of the Alchemist. Our deepest desires are not random. They are messages from our soul, guiding us toward our personal legend, the unique purpose we are meant to fulfill in life. But most of us ignore those dreams. We label them as childish, impractical, or impossible. Santiago could have done the same. He could have stayed with his sheep, safe and comfortable, but he chooses differently. Early in his journey, he meets a mysterious old man named Melchizedek, who calls himself the King of Salem. This man tells Santiago something that changes everything. When you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. Think about that for a moment. How often do we believe the opposite? That the universe is against us, that life is unfair, that luck only belongs to others. But what if the truth is that life is waiting for us to want something badly enough to step forward with faith, and only then does it open doors? Melchizedek also introduces Santiago to the concept of the personal legend. He explains that every person on earth has one. It's the thing that makes you come alive, the mission only you can fulfill. But here's the tragedy. Most people give up on it. They convince themselves it's too hard, too late, or too risky. They accept comfort instead of chasing greatness. Doesn't that sound familiar? How many dreams have been buried because of fear or doubt? Maybe you once wanted to start a business, write a book, travel the world, or change careers. But then life happened. Responsibilities piled up, and soon that dream felt impossible. That's exactly what Melchizedek warned Santiago about. The danger of ignoring your personal legend. The story pushes Santiago to make a choice. Stay safe or step into the unknown. And this is a choice we all face at some point. Comfort or calling. Routine or risk. The ordinary or the extraordinary. What makes Santiago relatable is that he is not fearless. He feels doubt, fear, and hesitation. But he learns that courage is not the absence of fear. It is moving forward despite it. As Santiago sells his flock of sheep to pursue his treasure, we see the cost of following a dream. It requires sacrifice. It requires letting go of the familiar. And this is another lesson from the Alchemist. Nothing great is ever achieved without giving up something first. Santiago's first steps may seem small, selling his sheep, gathering money, deciding to leave Spain. But these are the steps that transform him forever. Because the hardest step in any journey is not the last one. It is the first, the decision to begin. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, what dream have you been postponing because the first step feels too overwhelming? What if, like Santiago, all you need to do is take one small action, make one phone call, read one book, apply for one opportunity, and that decision would set your entire destiny into motion? That's the beauty of Santiago's story. It is not about pyramids or hidden gold. It's about daring to believe that your dream matters enough to chase it. And the universe, in its mysterious way, responds to courage. By the end of this first chapter of his journey, Santiago is no longer just a shepherd. He has become something much greater, a seeker. And seekers, unlike dreamers, do not wait for life to happen. They move toward it, even when the road is uncertain. Santiago begins his journey full of excitement. He carries the money from selling his sheep, his dream burning bright inside him, and the promise of treasure pulling him forward like a magnet. He feels as if the entire world is opening its arms to welcome him. But as soon as he steps into Tangier, a foreign land where even the language is different, reality hits him hard. He is quickly robbed. A stranger, someone he thought was helping him, takes all his money and disappears. Suddenly, Santiago is left alone, penniless, and helpless in a city where he cannot even ask for directions. This is his first great test, and it mirrors the test life throws at us the moment we decide to chase our dreams. Have you noticed that? The moment you say, I'm going to change my life, something goes wrong. Plans fail. People betray you. The path becomes harder than you ever imagined. It almost feels as if the world is punishing you for daring to try. But here's the secret that the Alchemist reveals. Those obstacles are not punishments. They are confirmations. They are the universe's way of asking, how badly do you want this? Santiago is heartbroken. He thinks about returning home, giving up and going back to his sheep. That would be easy. No one would blame him. And isn't that what most of us do? We set a big goal, fail once, and say, maybe it wasn't meant for me. But Santiago chooses differently. Even in his despair, he remembers the words of the old king. When you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you achieve it. The universe doesn't promise an easy path. It promises a meaningful one. And then, just when he feels lost, a new door opens. Santiago finds work in a crystal shop. At first, it feels like a step backward. He wanted treasure, but here he is cleaning glassware. Yet this is another lesson in the book. The path to your dream is not always straight. Sometimes it takes detours, because the detours are where you learn the skills, resilience, and wisdom you'll need later. In the crystal shop, Santiago's natural curiosity and creativity shine. He suggests new ideas to the shopkeeper, like displaying crystal in better ways and offering tea in crystal glasses. These innovations bring more customers and revive the man's failing business. Slowly, Santiago learns that even when you are far from your treasure, every action, if done with faith and intention, moves you closer to it. Pause for a moment and think, how many times have you looked at your current situation and thought, this is not where I want to be? Maybe you're in a job you don't love, or stuck in a place that doesn't inspire you. But what if, like Santiago, this moment is training you? What if the lessons you're learning here, the discipline, the patience, the creativity, are exactly what you'll need to reach your personal legend? The crystal shop also teaches Santiago about comfort versus risk. The shopkeeper confesses that he, too, once dreamed of traveling to Mecca, but he never did. He explains that dreams can be dangerous because achieving them means you no longer have them to hold on to. For him, it was safer to live with a dream than to risk losing it. This is one of the most powerful lessons in the book. How many people live this way? They keep their dream locked in their heart because chasing it might bring failure. But what they don't realize is that not chasing it is the greatest failure of all. Santiago listens to the shopkeeper's story and realizes that he does not want to live with unfulfilled dreams. He would rather risk failure than settle for regret. That decision changes everything. After months of working hard and saving money, Santiago has enough to return home and buy sheep again. He could go back to safety. But the fire inside him hasn't gone out. He knows that if he turns back now, he will never forgive himself. So instead of going home, he chooses to continue toward Egypt. This choice transforms Santiago from a boy into a true adventurer. He learns that dreams are not achieved in a single leap. They are pursued through persistence, patience, and the courage to keep moving, even after loss. And here's a takeaway for us. Your dream will test you. It will break you down, strip you of comfort, and demand that you prove your commitment. You will be tempted to give up. But if you endure, if you trust the process, every setback becomes a step forward. Santiago's time in Tangier and the crystal shop is not wasted. It is preparation. It teaches him resilience, creativity, and faith. And perhaps the most important lesson of all, the treasure we seek is not only at the destination, it is hidden in the journey itself. Santiago stands at the edge of a new beginning once again. The crystal shop is behind him. The comfort of Spain is far away, and ahead lies the vast desert that stretches endlessly toward the pyramids of Egypt. This desert is more than geography. It is a symbol of the unknown, the uncertainty every dreamer must cross. Joining a caravan, Santiago feels both excitement and fear. The desert is unforgiving. The sun scorches during the day. The nights freeze with silence, and storms can erase all traces of the path. But the caravan itself becomes a living metaphor. People from all walks of life moving together, each with their own hopes, fears, and destinations. Just like in life, everyone walks side by side, yet each person carries a unique dream inside them. On this journey, Santiago meets the Englishman, a man very different from him. Where Santiago carries stories and intuition, the Englishman carries heavy books on alchemy. He believes the secrets of life are hidden in formulas, symbols, and texts. Santiago believes they are written in the language of the world itself, in omens, in signs, in the patterns of nature. Their friendship creates a beautiful balance. The Englishman explains alchemy as the science of purification, of turning lead into gold, of transforming the ordinary into the extraordinary. Santiago listens, curious, but feels that the truth is simpler. Transformation is about listening to your heart and aligning with the soul of the world. Isn't this a reflection of how we approach success and growth today? Some of us bury ourselves in self-help books, courses, and endless theories, believing knowledge alone will change our lives. Others rely only on gut feelings, taking risks without preparation. But the truth, as Santiago learns, is that both paths matter. Knowledge without action is empty. Action without wisdom is blind. The real magic happens when knowledge and intuition work together. As the caravan pushes deeper into the desert, Santiago learns the art of patience. The desert does not reveal its secrets quickly. Days stretch on with nothing but sand and silence. Yet in that silence, Santiago discovers profound truth. The world speaks a universal language, a language beyond words. One night, staring at the endless stars, he realizes that everything is connected. The sheep he once tended, the crystals he polished, the desert, the stars, even his own heart. All of it is part of a greater whole. This is what the Englishman's books call the soul of the world. But while the Englishman reads about it, Santiago begins to feel it. This is another key lesson of the Alchemist. Wisdom is not just learned, it is lived. You can read about love 1,000 times, but only when you love do you understand it. You can study courage endlessly, but only when you face fear do you know its meaning. Santiago's journey teaches us that life itself is the greatest teacher, if we are willing to listen. But the caravan is not without danger. The desert tribes are at war and rumors of attacks spread. The leader of the caravan tells everyone something unforgettable. The desert tests every step you take. But we keep walking, because if we stop, we will never reach the oasis. That single sentence carries a powerful truth. How often in life do we stop when the road gets hard? How often do we lose faith when we cannot see progress? But just like the caravan, we must keep walking. Even when each step feels erased by the wind, the journey is moving us closer to our destination. Through this desert passage, Santiago begins to notice omens, the subtle hints of the universe. He sees patterns in the flight of birds, feels messages in the silence of sand, and begins to trust his inner voice more deeply. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, how many signs have you ignored because you dismissed them as coincidences? That gut feeling about a decision, that strange alignment of events, that dream that keeps repeating. What if those were your omens, the universe speaking directly to you? Santiago learns that paying attention to these whispers is one of the keys to finding his treasure. His conversations with the Englishman highlight another contrast. The Englishman seeks the philosopher's stone and the elixir of life, symbols of ultimate transformation. But Santiago begins to realize something deeper. Turning lead into gold is not about metals. It is about people. It is about turning fear into courage, weakness into strength, and dreams into reality. The real alchemy is inside us. By the time the caravan reaches the oasis, Santiago is no longer the same shepherd boy who once followed sheep across Spanish fields. He has learned to trust silence, to value patience, and to listen to the signs of the universe. His dream has not vanished. It has grown stronger, more alive, because now he sees that the treasure he seeks is not only waiting at the end, but also revealing itself along the way. This stage of Santiago's journey reminds us of an eternal truth. The road to our dreams is not a straight line. It is filled with detours, delays, and deserts. But if we keep walking, if we learn to balance knowledge with intuition, and if we trust the signs along the way, the universe will guide us exactly where we need to be. The caravan finally arrives at the oasis, a sea of green palms and flowing water in the middle of the endless golden desert. To Santiago, it feels like stepping into another world, one carved out of hope in the heart of nothingness. For weary travelers, it is a refuge. For Santiago, it is a stage of some of his greatest lessons. The oasis is meant to be neutral ground. Tribes at war leave it untouched, respecting it as sacred space. But even here, the desert's lessons continue. For Santiago, the oasis becomes a mirror that reflects back his own fears, desires, and the whispers of destiny. It is here that Santiago experiences love in its purest form, among the palm trees and wells. He meets Fatima, a young woman of the desert. Their connection is instant, a recognition deeper than words. Santiago realizes that love is not always slow or cautious. Sometimes it strikes like lightning, undeniable and eternal. And yet, this love brings him to a painful question. Should he abandon his search for treasure and stay with Fatima, or should he continue toward the pyramids, risking the loss of the only person who makes him feel complete? This moment captures one of the greatest dilemmas we face in life: love versus purpose. Too often, people give up on their dreams for the comfort of companionship. They think settling down is a safer choice, that stability is more valuable than passion. But Santiago learns a higher truth. Real love never demands that you sacrifice your destiny. Instead, it strengthens you to pursue it. Fatima embodies this truth. She tells Santiago, "I want you to go after your treasure. I will wait for you." That simple declaration changes everything. Love, when it is true, is not a chain, it is wings. It doesn't imprison, it empowers. Pause here and reflect. Are the relationships in your life holding you back, or are they pushing you forward? Are you surrounded by people who doubt your dreams, or by those who encourage you to chase them with all your heart? Santiago's encounter with Fatima teaches us that the right people will never fear your growth. They will celebrate it. But love is not the only gift the oasis offers. Santiago begins to see omens in the world around him more clearly than ever before. He notices the flight of two hawks in the sky, locked in combat. In that vision, he perceives the warning of an attack on the oasis. At first, he doubts himself. Who is he, just a shepherd boy, to interpret the language of the universe? But courage pushes him to act. He warns the tribal leaders, who prepare and defend the oasis. His vision saves lives. This moment is pivotal. Santiago realizes that paying attention to omens is not about superstition. It is about awareness. The world is always speaking to us, in coincidences, in dreams, in symbols, but only those with open hearts can hear it. Think about your own life. How many times have you ignored the quiet whispers of intuition because they seemed illogical? Maybe you had a gut feeling not to trust someone or a sudden inspiration to try something new, but you dismissed it. Santiago shows us that listening to these inner signals can be the difference between failure and destiny. His ability to read omens convinces the alchemist, a mysterious figure living in the desert, to reveal himself. The alchemist sees in Santiago not just a boy chasing treasure, but a soul learning to converse with the soul of the world. He tells Santiago that those who truly seek their personal legend will always be guided, even if the signs are difficult to understand. Another key lesson here is the balance between patience and urgency. The oasis feels comfortable. Santiago could stay forever with Fatima, safe and happy. But deep down, he knows that comfort is not the same as fulfillment. The treasure still calls. The pyramids still wait. And if he ignores that call, his heart will grow restless again. How many of us stop at our oasis? Maybe it's a good job, a decent relationship, or a stable life that looks fine on the surface. But inside, we know we've stopped short of our true potential. Santiago teaches us that while oases are beautiful, they are not the destination. They are resting places, not endings. Through love, omens, and the wisdom of the desert, Santiago learns one of the deepest truths. The universe rewards those who keep moving. And love, when it is real, will never ask you to stop. By the end of this stage, Santiago has grown into someone entirely new. He is no longer the boy who doubted his dream. He is a man who has tasted love, spoken with the universe, and found courage in the face of fear. But the greatest challenges still lie ahead. For to reach the treasure, Santiago must not only cross the desert, he must transform himself completely. The desert is quiet at night, but within that silence, mysteries move. After Santiago's vision at the oasis proves true, his path becomes clearer. He has attracted the attention of the alchemist, a man cloaked in mystery, wisdom, and power. To most, the alchemist is a myth, a rumor whispered across caravans. To Santiago, he is a guide sent by the universe itself. The alchemist approaches Santiago not with softness, but with intensity. He does not flatter him or make the path easy. Instead, he tests him, testing his faith, his courage, his willingness to sacrifice everything for the treasure that awaits him. This is an important truth. Great teachers don't arrive in our lives to comfort us. They arrive to challenge us. They strip away our excuses and force us to confront our deepest fears. Santiago is reluctant at first. He has found love at the oasis with Fatima. Why leave? Why risk it all when he already has something beautiful? But the alchemist reminds him, you must never give up your personal legend. Love never keeps a man from his destiny. Those words pierce Santiago's heart. He understands, if he abandons his dream, he will lose Fatima anyway. For a man who betrays his purpose will one day betray his love too. So Santiago agrees to journey with the alchemist. Together, they ride into the endless desert, their horses carrying them deeper into the unknown. Along the way, the alchemist speaks of truths that most men spend lifetimes trying to grasp. He explains that the soul of the world is nourished by people's happiness, by their dreams, and by love. He teaches Santiago that when you are on the right path, the whole universe conspires to help you succeed, but you must have faith, even when the signs are faint. At night, under the stars, Santiago listens. He learns that alchemy is not about turning lead into gold. It is about transforming yourself, your fear into courage, your doubts into faith, your dreams into reality. The treasure, the pyramids, the gold, all of it is secondary. The real treasure is what you become in the process. But the desert is not kind. Santiago and the alchemist are captured by a warring tribe. Dragged before the leader, they face death. The tribe laughs at the boy who claims to follow omens. To survive, Santiago is given an impossible challenge. Turn himself into the wind within 3 days, or die. This moment is perhaps the most powerful metaphor in the entire story. How often in life are we given impossible challenges? A dream too big, a problem too heavy, a future too uncertain? Most people collapse under the weight of impossibility. But Santiago does not give up. He chooses faith. For 3 days, he prays, listens, and looks to the desert. He speaks with the wind, with the sun, with the soul of the world. Slowly, he realizes the truth. He is not separate from creation. He is part of it. And because he is part of it, he can command it. When the final day comes, Santiago raises his arms and becomes one with the desert storm. The wind howls, the sky bends, and the men who doubt him fall to their knees in awe. The tribe releases him, convinced that he is protected by forces greater than themselves. But this trial changes Santiago forever. He learns that when you align with the universe, you gain power beyond understanding. Faith is not blind. It is a force that bends reality. Finally, Santiago and the alchemist reach the pyramids. The sight overwhelms him, the massive stones rising out of the desert, the weight of centuries pressing upon them. Santiago falls to his knees and weeps, thanking the universe for guiding him here. He begins digging for the treasure, filled with hope. But the universe has one last test. As he digs, a group of thieves arrives, mocking him for believing in dreams. They beat him and demand to know what he's searching for. Bruised and broken, Santiago tells him of his vision. The leader of the thieves laughs and says, "You fool! I had a dream once too. A dream that treasure lay buried in an abandoned church in Spain, under a sycamore tree. But I was not stupid enough to cross a desert for it." In that moment, everything becomes clear. Santiago understands a final lesson. The treasure was never in Egypt. It was always back where he began, at the ruined church where his journey started. This revelation is not cruel, it is divine. The journey was never about gold. It was about transformation. Had Santiago never left Spain, he would never have discovered the language of the world, never loved Fatima, never spoken with the wind, never realized the power within him. The treasure was not the chest of gold. It was the man he had become. And yet, the universe rewards those who persist. Santiago returns to Spain, digs beneath the sycamore tree, and there, exactly as the thief described, he finds a chest overflowing with jewels and gold. His dream was real all along. The circle is complete. From a shepherd boy to a man who speaks with the soul of the world, Santiago embodies the greatest truth of all. Sparkles when you follow your personal legend with faith and courage. You will not only find your treasure, you will become it. As Santiago stands beneath the sycamore tree, holding the treasure that had waited for him all along, the story of the alchemist comes full circle. What began with a shepherd boy dreaming of adventure has transformed into a timeless reminder. Our dreams are not accidents. They are whispers from the universe, invitations to become who we were always meant to be. But what does this mean for us today? How do we take the lessons of Santiago's journey and apply them to our modern lives filled with deadlines, distractions, and doubt? The first lesson is this: listen to your heart. Too often, we silence that small inner voice because it seems unrealistic or inconvenient. We tell ourselves, maybe later, maybe when I have more money, more time, more courage. But the truth is, your heart knows the path before your mind can explain it. Just as Santiago learned to trust the omens, we must learn to trust our intuition, that gut feeling, that quiet pull towards something bigger. It's the beginning of your personal legend. The second lesson: embrace the journey, not just the destination. Santiago set out to find treasure, but what truly mattered was who he became along the way. In our own lives, we often fixate on results, earning the promotion, hitting the milestone, reaching the goal. But real growth happens in the process, in the nights of self-doubt, in the courage to try again, in the risks we take. Treasure without transformation is hollow. Transformation is the true reward. The third lesson: love and dreams are not enemies. Many people abandon their dreams in the name of love, believing sacrifice is proof of devotion. But as the alchemist taught Santiago, real love does not chain you, it frees you. Fatima loved Santiago enough to let him pursue his destiny, and because of that, their love grew stronger. The same is true for us. If someone truly loves you, they will encourage you to become your fullest self. The fourth lesson: fear is a final test. Santiago's greatest trial was not crossing the desert or finding the pyramids. It was facing the impossible challenge of becoming the wind. Each of us will face our own become the wind moments. Launching the business when failure feels certain, speaking up when silence feels safer, pursuing the dream when everyone says it's foolish. Fear is always the gatekeeper to destiny. The question is, will you walk through it? The fifth lesson: the treasure is closer than you think. Santiago traveled across continents, only to discover the gold was buried where he began. In our lives, we often believe happiness lies somewhere far away, in a new job, a new city, a new relationship. But more often than not, the treasure is within us, waiting to be uncovered. Your purpose, your joy, your strength, it's already inside you. The journey is about discovering it, not importing it from somewhere else. So, what can you do starting today? Begin by writing down the dream that refuses to leave your heart. Not the dream that feels safe or practical, but the one that scares you just enough to excite you. That's your personal legend calling. Then take one small step toward it. Just one. Send the email, make the call, create the plan, set the intention. The universe rewards movement. And when doubt creeps in, remember Santiago under the desert stars. Remember the boy who spoke with the wind. Remember that the soul of the world responds not to hesitation, but to faith. The story of the alchemist is not just Santiago's story. It is yours. It is mine. It is every dreamer's story. The treasure is real, but more importantly, the transformation is real. And once you begin, the universe conspires in ways you cannot imagine. So I'll leave you with this thought. Your personal legend is waiting. The only question is, will you answer the call? If this journey through the Alchemist inspired you, if it reminded you of the power within your own story, then I invite you to join our community by subscribing to this channel. Here, we explore books, ideas, and timeless wisdom that awaken the treasure within you. And remember, like Santiago discovered, the world belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams.